Hey, welcome back to Monique's Book List. So we're here to talk about the novel Jane Doe by Victoria Helen Stone. This is my review on it, and I read this book. I'm sorry, I listened to this book on Audible. I listened to it at the recommendation of Bobby from Bobby Reads Too Much. She had it in her best reads of 2018 and at the top of the list. So I was really excited to read it. And just to give you just a general premise of it, and then I'm going to go into detail. So, general premise is there's a lady by the name of Jane Doe, and she is a self-diagnosed sociopath, and she is on a mission to destroy a young man for something he did to her, and it is a, or yeah, he did to her. It is a I don't know how to say it, a magical ride, if you will. It was a fun loving story. There are elements of romance, but not a crazy amount. There is, I don't know if they go into a lot of detail, but there is some adult content, meaning sex. There's some sex. I don't think there's a lot. I don't think there's like it's not. I don't think you can classify it as smut. I don't think you can classify it as a romance. I think it's more of the story of Jane Doe and her revenge. I would call it more of a revenge story. So that's the premise. I gave it 4 stars. It is very early, but this so far, and even at the end of 2018, from 2018 to now, this is one of the better reads I've read. So yeah, I would highly recommend it. So let's talk about detail. So from this point on, I'm saying spoiler alert because I am going to give detail. Okay, so I gave a general review, general rating, I would say 4.5 stars. There was some stuff that I was a little uncomfortable with, but overall, 4 stars. Recommend. Listen, read, physical copy, e-copy, Audible, Scribe, wherever you can get it and listen or read it. All right, so again, spoiler alert. Now, forgive me because it is officially midnight and I'm very tired, but I had to get this review in because if I don't do it now, I don't know when I will. So, Jane's story. You pick up with her where she's doing data entry at this job. You kind of get a sense of her background that she is. I think she's a lawyer. No, she is a lawyer. I don't think she is a lawyer, and she's doing this data entry at this company because she wants to meet a young man by the name of Steven. And Steven is the man that she has set her sights on to destroy. And you find out the reason that she wants to destroy Steve is because he was dating the only person that she knows that she had some type of connection. She believes it's just I don't think, she says she doesn't love the way other people love. So she said basically Meg was a person who helped her feel normal. And I appreciated that. I appreciate stories were told from the point of views of people who don't consider themselves normal. We all know that normal is subjective, but I appreciate stories that are always told from the point of view of someone who's like, I don't think I work like other people. So I enjoy that. But you find out that Meg dated Steven, and Steven was very mentally cruel, very emotionally abusive to her friend Meg, which led Meg to kill herself. And Jane ain't having it. She's not having um, some dude just hurting her friend and getting away with it to the point where, her friend killed herself. So you're on the journey with Jane while she's trying to destroy Steven. And while she's on this journey, someone from her past comes back into her life. And I'm just going to say his name is Brian. I cannot remember dude's name for anything. I don't know why I can't remember his name. His name may be Brian, but I'm just going to use the name Brian. Well, Brian is the complete opposite of Steve. And Brian is a guy who she believes that, she used to date Brian, but when she left school to get a job, when she left college to get a job, they broke up. And he considers her the one who got away, where she was just like, how am I the one that got away? I don't have this, she's like, I'm this girl with this, I'm detached and I'm a sociopath. Like, she doesn't understand why he is so intrigued by her. Well, you find out later that he's so intrigued by her because she's the opposite of his of the only woman that has been consistent in his life, and that's his mother. And where his mother's a very look at me, give me all your attention, give me all your attention. Jane is more like, look, we can sit on this couch for 4 days and not talk. And I'm okay with that, as long as you're okay with that. And you know I'm not going to do anything to harm you. I just want to read. Like, it's, so that's the reason why Brian likes her. And also she's like, not like any other girls who they need a bunch of attention. She's a sociopath. So she's just like, I don't need all that. I just, I need a book or two. So, it's interesting he saw her as the one that got away, and she sees herself as broken. So that was interesting to see that side. That's the elements, the romance elements, and that's where some of the sexual content come in. Let's get back to her prey, Steven. Steven is super religious. He goes to what I would consider a mega church. I think he said he had 2,500 people at his church. That's a lot of people to go to church with you. That's a lot of people. 2,500 people. Anyway, he's very close with his father. His father's a pastor of the church. And you find out that Steve is very misogynistic, and he believes that women should be very wholesome and that men can have all the sex they want because it's different from men. And his father is not too far off. His father's kind of a sleaze bag too. His father preaches about women being chaste, but and he talks crap about gay people, which is like, anyway. I don't understand. The thing that got me there was like, it hit home. Like it was like, about that, because I grew up in a very religious family, and I grew up in a church that all of that sounded familiar, and the behaviors that Stephen displayed, far as like still having sex, even though the women had to be chaste, and the women have to be holy and wholesome. It's so weird because it happens in churches like that. Like, I'm not gonna go into too much because I don't want this to be too long. But I remember, like, there was this guy I had a crush on, and when I was in church, and on my birthday I found out that he was getting married to this girl, and I was like, wow, I thought that's really weird because we liked each other or whatever. Come to find out, he had gotten her pregnant. But he liked me because I was such a wholesome young lady. And yeah, so I was like that. It was so weird to like see it, like, wow, that shit really happens. Or, it's a novel, but it was like, wow, okay, that's familiar. Anyway, so Steven, I'm not, okay, the guy in my real life didn't do anything that Steven did outside of, Anyway, so Steven proceeds to try to manipulate Jane because he believes she's a weak-minded individual. The whole time she's playing him, the whole time she's manipulating him, the whole time. And my favorite part of the whole novel is when she does the same shit to his damn daddy. And she exposes them in the end in a very cool way. She had somehow got a hold of Steven's contact list on his phone, and he's a deacon in the church, so that means he probably has contacts for most of the people that go to church there in some way, fashion, or another. Like, there's a church directory, something, right? So she sent the video, or not a video, but an audio of him admitting that he cheated with his father's wife, not his mom. His dad had remarried a very young girl, and he had cheated with his father's wife. She had recording of his father having sex with her, and she exposed everybody. She exposed everyone, and she destroyed Stephen, his father's marriage, and in my opinion, the church too, which I was okay with all of it. So she got her revenge. And another fun thing about the story is that I think she learned that she wasn't as disconnected with people as she thought she was because of this other storyline that was going, which was Brian. So that was interesting too, of how she thought she couldn't, because Meg died, that part of her who could possibly love, she thought was gone, and then there's Brian who brought it back for her. So I appreciated that part of the story too. Again, I highly recommend it. 4.5 stars. I don't give a lot of stars out. Most of stars you can get is 3, but this one's 4.5. Really, really recommend it. And there are some dark elements that the reason why it's 4.5 again is there's some dark elements that kind of made me a little nervous when there's a point where she's thinking like she's gonna kill him, and I was crazy uncomfortable with the possibility of being in the head of somebody killing someone. So I was a little nervous about that, but she doesn't kill him. Again, I said it was spoiler alert. So if you've gotten this far, hopefully you've read the novel and you just want to discuss it with me. All right, so that's it. Pick it up and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.